What's going on, guys? Welcome to another live stream session with your boy Franklin. If you're watching this as a playback, thank you for stopping by. This is a live stream session, and I also sometimes upload pre-recorded, videos. So, yeah, if you like what I'm about, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and feel free to look through my videos. All right, this is the segment that I call. Let's see who's in line. This is the segment that I call Story Time, where people send me their stories to foodchannel1960 at gmail.com. What's going on, people? So look in the description below. If you can see my email address, send me your stories and stuff. What's up? What's up, man? If you can hear me, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, all right? Akbede Farms. My bro, what's up, bro? I can see you, man. Pascal. Good morning, good afternoon, man. So, my dad wants £600 in monthly allowance and threatens to ostracize me. So, this is a story from a lady. Somebody's saying my cup is serious, man. It's just a jug of water, man. Anyways, before I crack on, these episodes are sponsored by Sendwave. Sendwave is basically an app that you can download within the 2 shakes of a duck's tail on your mobile devices, be it Android, be it iPhone. Allows you to send money from United Kingdom, United States, Ireland, Italy, Spain, to Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania, Uganda, and or Kenya. If you use my name, Phrankleen, you get £5, $5 or €5 added to your first transaction, okay? And you can share my promo code with your friends and or family, right? Yes, smash the like button. So, welcome to Story Time. Like I said earlier, if you're watching this as a playback, this is a segment where people send me their stories. If it resonates with me, I convert it to a live stream like this or pre-recorded content, okay? The premise of this is hopefully we can, learn 1 or 2 things from it. So here we go. This lady sent me the story and she's been on my back, on my neck. Franklin, please, share my story and all that stuff. Somebody's already converting, that money. Where is the money going to come from? Anyway, I'll give you a quick background. If you can hear me, don't forget to hit the like button. The reason I always say that during the live stream, I don't mean to be a pain in your backside. It helps to gain traction. The algorithm learns the pattern and exposes the video a lot more, all right? So that's why I don't mean to be a bit of a bother. Pricey. So this lady said, she's in her late 30s now, actually. And then the background to the story is basically when she was a little kid, like a very, very young child. She was born back in Nigeria. It was basically 4 of them, all right? So she's the last born. So you can imagine the age of the firstborn, right? She's in her late 30s. And so she said, donkey years ago, it's more than 30 years ago now, when she was a little girl, mom and dad relationship ended acrimoniously. She didn't remember anything because she was very young. All she knew was at some point, dad disappeared, left the picture, and they were abandoned, and it was just left. The 4 of them were left with their mom, right? So anyway, as the story goes, mom started struggling, trying to cater for 4 of them and stuff. And the long and short was, at the time, it got to a point where the mom couldn't keep up. It was 4 of them. So she said, even though she was a little girl, she remembered that she wasn't going to school and things got really rough. And it was just the firstborn that mom could afford to send to school. So when dad kicked them, left, he said their dad left home, abandoned their mom. So basically, some relatives on the mother's side would occasionally come and give them food stuff. So money wasn't forthcoming because everyone had their truckload of struggles. That's life. But before I crack on, I'd just like to emphasize on the fact that these are some of the things that I bang on about, which they are, how do I say? It's a very common thing, especially with those parents from the older generation, right? Particularly the fathers, right? So, say for example, the relationship ends acrimoniously, like this lady's story, right? So, what tends to happen is it still happens till date. Some men still do that. So regardless of what's gone on, let's even assume that maybe it was the woman's fault for the relationship to have caved in. They then weaponize that fact and use that as a reason to completely abandon the woman and whatever number of children she's given birth. It might have been one child, two, three, even if it's five children. They would turn their backs and they would absolutely just, disregard the welfare of those children. And then what tends to happen when poverty kicks in is then the mother may be forced into a tight corner, and then children will be flung like stones in different directions, go and live with relatives, go and live with that person. And what that does is it forces them into this vicious cycle of poverty, exposes them as well to abuse, physical abuse, or any other form of abuse. You know exactly what I'm saying. So now watch this. So this lady said she remembers, when everything caved in. The mom was very emotional. She would cry a lot, and eventually, when she couldn't cope in the city, she had to move to the village. Right. So she moved to start living with her grandmother. At the time, the grandmother is late now, so she moved to the village, and then things got even a lot harder because you can imagine village setting, in terms of employment or income, and then, although the only benefit in the villages, cost of living might be really, really minute, but in terms of income and with someone who's already broke. So, anyways, they everything carried on. She said their grandmother had steep hens and all that stuff. The long and short was things got really, really rough, and then eventually she said about roughly 3 years, they couldn't go to school, which affected them to be on the same, wavelength or pathway with their peers and stuff. So, about four of them were out of school. Then when mom struggled, she was able to put the firstborn back into school. The three of them were still at home. Then one of the aunties, mom's younger brother, came and said, okay, she will be able to take one of them. Another uncle took one of them. So this lady was the last born, stayed with their mom. So mom was struggling to take her to school. So you get the picture, right? Poverty knocked them down. And then, who is this, man? So as I was saying, sorry about that, man. There's always people that come on the channel. I don't understand the logic behind these people. You come on my platform. Perhaps you don't watch me quite often, I suspect. It's someone's story, okay? People send me lengthy emails, and I then mentally do my bit to compress, so that people can get the message and to tell the story. But you then come here, and then you be like, oh man, don't waste my time, just tell the story. That's just rudeness. That's why I like to block people like you. Don't do that, man, okay? Don't do that, man. You come on my platform with your triple chin, and you be disrespectful. Don't do that. Go watch something else. I don't understand why people do that. You feel entitled, just like this woman's father. So, as I was saying, the woman was trapped in. Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. So, the woman was trapped in this vicious cycle and stuff. So eventually, she had to go live with some relatives and all that stuff. It was very rough. And then when things got really worse, she said even her mom, sadly, later in the years, mom developed health problems. There was no money to take care of her. So the mom died, okay? Then she said later, one of their cousins, like a distant relative or something, an auntie who's been in the UK, picked this lady, came to Nigeria one time, and then picked her, sort of like adopted her type of thing. Thank you, appreciate the super chat. and then brought her to the UK. That was how she made it to the UK. So you can imagine. So the other older siblings were scattered. So the long and short, what she told me was her siblings were in fact, suffering, subjected to ill treatment, living with, other relatives and all that stuff. So sadly, mama died, and you can imagine what that does, to you as a child emotionally and all that stuff. So this lady came here. This auntie in their family basically raised her, put her through school here in the UK. So she said, eventually the auntie's husband helped their firstborn, right? And then the firstborn also came to the UK, which is great. But the two other ones are back in Africa. They suffered for years, but later she said they are kind of all right anyway. So now watch this. This woman has gone on to make something of her life. She works in the health sector. And from what I gathered, she's also settled down. She's got 2 kids now. But of course, you can imagine the gaping hole in her life, not having a father figure and all the challenges and stuff. Then she said, out of the blues, this was before the pandemic lockdown, said there's always this relative, this very nosy uncles and aunties. So they then started getting in touch with herself and her siblings and said, what do you call it? Your father has been in touch, so he wants, watch this. This is not even about your, who is this, man? Let me respond to this quickly. I'm not obligated to educate any trolls. Okay, if you don't know me, I appreciate you watching me. Let me just say this quickly before I crack on. All right, I have nothing but love and respect for people. Okay, that's the way I'm wired. This is my page. I'm not leasing anything. I'm not in any contractual agreement with anything. All right, what I'm effectively saying is when people come on here, all right, and you just think it's your right to disrupt and start, getting insultive and all that, I'll take you out. That's the way I'm wired. If we are talking about a topic and you have a different view, oh, Phrankleen, I disagree about this, about the topic at hand, that's fine. Let's go back and forth. Let's learn from each other. But once you're rude and name calling and all that stuff, you're gone. I'm not here. I've got zero tolerance for that. And I'm not here to carry on explaining myself to you, all right? Thank you for understanding. And if you don't like it, go watch something else, like I said. So, right. As I was saying, so out of the blues, the pops shows up and said, some uncles then called her, imagine, over 30 years of abandonment, right? Then some elderly people in a so-called African family said, your dad is now elderly. He has realized the errors of his ways. And she also said when their mom was dying back in Africa, then on the sick bed, when there was no money to treat her, some people even reached out to this man, and he failed to even help or show up or to try to, help with hospital bills or anything like that. He was with another woman. He ignored, and she eventually died, right? Due to lack of money and poverty, as you'd imagine. So now, the long and short is, this man then pulled up. She said he's in his 70s or late 70s now. And then he's like, he's realized the errors of his ways anyway. So he, watch this. It's not even a case of, please, my children, I'm asking you for forgiveness. He's commanding, saying, well, he's, he's old now and they need to come and do their due diligence as their father. And, because if they don't come and do their due diligence before he passes on, he will curse them. And that means they won't amount to anything. Look, man, this is somebody else's story. But have you ever read a story or listened to a story and you just get really angry? Because I'm looking at my phone when I was reading this, and the amount, I cannot tell you the amount of rage that I felt. Like the nerve of this man. I'm going to, people from Nigeria would know what I'm saying. I'm going to curse you if you don't come and do your due diligence. I'm going to make sure you don't amount to. You show up 30 years, and that's what I get. So he's saying, and so this lady said she lost her cool. She had to get in a massive argument with one of the uncles that was trying to say it's not our culture. You cannot abandon your father. And she was like, I am the one who's abandoned my father. This is a man that abandoned me and three of my siblings when we were little kids. So anyway, it's emotional blackmail. You get the gist, right? But the long and short is, she then told, I mean, the man, the dad, the so-called dad, wherever it is, then told someone that, watch this, I cannot make this up, said they should tell her, watch this, he wants £600 per month in feeding allowance. It's not even collectively from four of them, because there is two of them currently in the UK. So she said they told her that their dad wants £600 a month, and then her older brother, he wants £700. He wants £700 a month. So that's basically, if you add that, that's £1,300 from both of them in feeding allowance. Look, some of you might be watching this, maybe you're not. Yo, the audacity of this man. I've not even considered you for a pound. I mean, £1. I've not even considered you for a pound. You have the nerve to ask for 1,000. So she said her older brother, like, dude was. She said to me that if her older brother was next to their dad, he would probably have punched the man in the face. Like, he nearly lost. Even my papa. Oh my God. You know what? You know what? Let me say something. This is very important. I'm laughing, but I'm telling you, man, this is a very, very common practice in our society. I kid you not. The audacity of some of these parents is absolutely mind-blowing. I don't know what planet. I understand that they come from a different generation from now, but the nerve, even for the people whose parents might still be in their lives. There was somebody that also sent me a slightly similar story whereby her mom is in this country, right? Because, she said they brought her to the UK when she was a 16-year-old. So she's currently 29. So basically, and, she's, of course, gone to school, da 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 da. So mom and dad are, or any little conversation, mom and dad would say, oh, we suffered in this country to bring you from Africa to the UK. Okay. But then, can I just chip in something? That's your duty. You brought your child. She was a child at the time, at 16, to the UK. Big deal. So this lady, she came here when she was 16. She's 29. Her mom wants her to give her £1,000 a month. So watch this, yeah? My first response or question was, oh, do you live under the same roof as your mom? Maybe she's struggling with some bills, because it's also fair to say there are some children that live with their parents even when they're older and they are earning and they become really selfish. That's not fair. Like, maybe, like, for example, here in the UK, if you live in places like London and stuff, and they're struggling to get on property ladder, they're still living in the room that they've lived from when they were little kids. So you're an adult, you're working. It's only sensible that you support your parents with household bills. But that's not the conversation. The lady said, no. Phrankleen, I moved out of my parents' house when I was 23. I've been living in a shared flat with my friends. I've gone on to live as an adult. So my mom called a meeting. She wants £1,000 from me. She wants 1,000 or something from my sister. And she said her brother, who is the firstborn, stopped speaking to their parents completely because he said they are buzzing. You see what I'm saying? Oh, let me see. My mom took my houses that I built. She takes £2,000 a month because she looked after my son. Oh well, whatever floats your boat, man. £1,000. It's emotional blackmail, man. It's just emotional blackmail. It's crazy. So back to the story at hand. Dad, I just told her, man, I don't even know why you're telling me this, but of course, it allows me to, to make content and share stories with people. A man that abandoned you, that turned his back, has the audacity in his 70s, in his old age, to say he's going to place curse on you if you don't do the due diligence before he dies. Fam, I will wait till you die. I won't even buy you a coffin. I want to take that dead body and body slam you into that pit. Are you joking? Of course, I'm not going to do that. That's an exaggeration. But you get the gist, right? I'm not even going to attend the burial. Are you joking? The audacity. And then you have some uncles and some elderly people in the name of you and dear Montania. Ikulo makpa baba. Iku. O ma shanku ni. O ma shofu emini. Are you joking? I would take that body and slam it into the grave. You must be kidding, man. And then threatening to to curse. But like I was saying earlier, unfortunately, this is a very, very, very sadly, it's a very, very common practice. Somebody says, Phrankleen, how do you verify that these stories are true? Listen, man, let me tell you, I do not have a facility, okay, to verify, because then that defeats the purpose of what I'm doing on my platform. Oh, are you sure you're not lying to me? Oh, having said that, there's been a couple of stories that I've received that I thought, this looks a bit dodgy, right? And I'll just push them aside. But I know in the time that I've spent on the face of the earth, I am thoroughly aware that this planet is filled with unbelievable craziness. Believe me, in my time, I've heard stories, even people within my jurisdiction, you would know people, you've heard stories. So a lot of the things that I read, that I see, it's not particularly, it might be shocking to a degree, but it's not impossible. Believe me. You want to talk about a mother sleeping with a son-in-law. There are a gazillion of stories, man. It happens. Not just in the black community, beyond. So there was nothing surprising about that. Even though it's disgusting, but it happens. And, mothers and fathers conspiring with third parties to steal from their children in the diaspora. In fact, those are my number one stories. They are in my inbox. There's a gentleman that just told me that his father robbed him of £23,000. He's waiting for the pandemic to come to an end so he can go to Africa to go and drag palaver with the man. Guess what? The man died 2 weeks ago. He's dead and gone. Can you imagine? His father was at the center point of the frauds, fleeced him of £23,000. The man is dead. He's gone now. So the families are now saying to him, oh, are you coming to now fight your father's dead body? Or you're going to have to, like they say in Yoruba, gbafolon and move on. What do you say about that? The guy has nearly gone mad. I've got the email in my inbox. I cannot make this up, man. Imagine, the man died conveniently. And he suspects that his older brothers are involved. But you can imagine, once he's dead, they would have split whatever cash that's hanging in daddy's account. And by the time you then get to Nigeria, it's too freaking late. 23,000 Great Britain pounds sterling. That brother may never recover from that. So many crazy stories, man. Why just £600 a month? Why? why just £600 a month? Why not just use the sun for ritual? Bro, man, that's a funny comment. So I told, I told the lady, man, I mean, mine is just advice, there is nothing I can do. Hey, man, there's about 500 people watching me now. Please hit the like button. Just disregard the man. Just ignore him. He wants 600 pounds from you. He wants 700 pounds from your brother. Is he mad? Even I've heard stories of people, parents, who have done nothing for their children. This is what I was saying earlier. Parents who are still alive. It's a very sad, toxic way of life, way of living. It's unbelievably deeply rooted, very toxic culture in our communities. And they use emotional blackmail. That's when you always have all these uncles and aunties. Some of them are morons. I'm sorry. It's not because somebody's elderly doesn't necessarily mean they're sensible. As much as I hate to say it, I have to say it because they are usually the ones behind all these stupid trying to convince you. Imagine a father that abandoned his children, deliberately abandoned for more than 30 years. And then you turn around and say, you have to do your due diligence. You must give your dad 600 pounds a month like he's asked you. And if you don't give them, your children would do the same thing to you. You might not end. Boy, if you don't shut your mouth, I would need to daru. It's always the dad side of the family that would do the most. Absolutely. There comes a time when we have to stand up to our parents. Yep, I would not tolerate my parents blackmailing me. I would cut off all contact and move on with my life. Let's talk about parents who charge their children rent, even those who charge their own children to babysit their grandchild. You one day you're dropping bombs, man. Yeah, believe me, I've seen that happen. There was actually one. Interestingly, it's interesting you mentioned that. There was an email that I read at the peak of the pandemic where a guy said his mom, like the mom and dad had bought the house, right? So dad died in this country, and dad's dead. Mom's living alone. It's a 3-bedroom house. His siblings have moved out. So I think he lost his job. He had issues, right? So he had to move back into his room in their dad's house. The house is mortgage free in this country. Dad is dead. And he said, after 1 month, he got another job, right? And then he was still staying in their house so that he can save up money and then after some time move back out and go get another spot. Yeah. As soon as they paid him his first salary, the mom said he needs to be paying rent. So he told his mom that, Mom, rent for what? If it's about electric or gas or food shopping, don't worry about that. I've got it covered. I'll look after you. But why do you? And the mom said she wanted £150 in rent per week from him, and the guy said, "Why would I pay you £150 a week? And besides, the house it was even dad that bought it, but dad put it in the will that it belongs to all of us. There are 2 empty bedrooms in the house. You're in the other one. And you're asking me for rent. Yeah. You can't live in this. Why don't you go and get your... And then so it became a massive argument. Imagine, it got so bad, he had to threaten his mom with legal action. Can you imagine? Narcissism is everywhere. Just say, no, I'm not doing it. How can your mom, they're trying to charge you? That it's in a different scenario. I'm a very fair person. If your parents have got bills, right, you're a grown up because you'll be saving money, right? I think it's sensible that you chip in, you contribute. So let's say, for example, the mortgage in the house is £1,000 a month, as an example, just a random number, and you're working. Maybe pay two, and they're paying. Maybe pay £300-400, or maybe pay, I don't know, maybe £200 towards it. Do you get what I'm saying? If you got other people in the house, everybody chime in, so everyone's all right. Buy food stuff, contribute towards gas and electric and stuff like that. I agree with that. But when grandparents want to look after their grandchildren, and you want to charge your children as if you are a registered childminder. That's a bit shifty. And you are collecting state pension, which is meant to be your feeding allowance. Is it right to tell your parents your monthly salary? Don't. That's a good question. Don't tell them. Because African parents, you tell them you're getting X amount of money, they will weaponize it against you to fleece you down the line. Don't tell them. Don't do that, man. There was a friend of mine who years ago used to work as a project manager in the IT sector. Yeah, the parents knew he was working in central London. They knew he was working for an organization that was reputable, and they were just, my son works, he has a job. That's all they knew. Until one day, the dude blurted out and said, Dad, my job, they pay me £500 a day as a contractor. They pay you what? £500 a day? All hell broke loose. Demands started coming left, right, and center. Emotional blackmail was on steroids. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, £500 a day is good money, but there's a big but. As a contractor, you're responsible for your holiday, for your own pensions and all that stuff. Then you got your taxes to sort out. Whilst that money looks glamorous, which is good, don't get me wrong, it requires even you to be financially disciplined in order to enjoy the benefits of being a contractor down the line. Do you get what I'm saying? Because contractors don't have, exactly. And all of that is changed now with the new regulations, particularly here in the UK. People, they literally have to game the taxman through the accountants and paying to limited company to try to save a chunk of their money. All of that has changed now. Somebody was saying something earlier. Let me see. I made a mistake and told my sis how much I make a year. What's mistake till date? They're counting in terms of French franc, and then it's a huge sum, so it's barely even sustainable for me. Yeah. Let me see. The thing is still... Let me see, man. Phrankleen, so what's the morale of this video? Is it to teach that some parents can be unreasonable, or that we should handle such parents with wisdom, or we should be at loggerheads with parents? No, of course not. To answer your question, bro, for this particular video, there's nothing to be at loggerheads. Cut the man off, man. The lady, I suspect, from the tone of the email, this is what they use as emotional blackmail that I was talking about. She's a bit worried about, I'm going to curse you, because the dad said he's going to put her under some kind of curse if herself and her brother, if they don't do their due diligence. How can you ask of due diligence from the children that you abandoned? Do you see what I'm saying? So the premise of, the video, my own simple message is disregard the man, cut him off, man. Cut him off completely. He's close to the grave anyway. Let him go. Take care of yourself. Focus on your family here, man. I never found it necessary to let my folks know how much I'm making. The only one that knew was when I just finished from high school. Right. Hey, hit the like button. There's about 500 of you, man. Please hit that like button. They have no right to blackmail the kids. Oh, they do that, man. Frida. They do that 24/7, man. Dear Frank, God's the greatest trait. It doesn't seem to add up if you claim to be a Mr. Say it like it is, and yet you don't say it like it is, and then you don't align with God. Don't know what you're talking about, man. I believe in God, but God is what God means to you. The topic God is subjective, okay? I'm not religious. Do you see what I'm saying? I believe there is an energy, there's a supreme being that guides the four corners of the universe. But I'm not, if you're trying to go in the direction of the template of your religious beliefs, of your Christianity, I am not a Christian. Does that make sense? I want God Avengers. So I am not religious. I am not. Okay? And I hope you respect that. That's who I am. I am not. I was born into Christianity, Christian family. I used to be a chorister. I grew up in church. I know the 411, the A to Z of everything, but I am not. All of that was brought to you by the white man. That's facts. All right? So God, the word, let's borrow the word God. God is whatever God means to you. If you ask a Buddhist, God means whatever it means to them. All right? It's subjective. So don't try to put people within the box which you exist. I don't exist in, anything. I don't align with all that, man. I don't. I hope that answers you. Why are you always pissed with Jesus Christ? Jesus Christ is a white man's construct. I'm not pissed with Jesus. I don't know where you see that from. There are so many important things to do with life that I'm to be pissed. If you can take time, instead of you banging out cheesy questions of Phrankleen, go and read. I can engage you in a live stream just because of you. Let's talk constructively. But let me put a disclaimer though. Regardless of what I believe in and how I live my life, I don't point fingers at anybody or insult anybody. You have the right to live your life. It's always religious people that like to come to people and want to force their stuff down people's lungs. Do you see? I don't go around now and shake people's head. Ooh, why are you believing in this? If you engage me in a logical, grown-up conversation, I'll tell you my position. And at the end of the day, we can enjoy a bottle of drink together, shake hands, hug, and we keep it moving. But it's the religious people that get defensive, that try to want to shove, their stuff down people's lungs. How can you be pissed at Jesus, man? That's a very funny statement. You dig? Jesus Christ. Go and read, get knowledge. Black people are notorious. They don't like reading. Go and get knowledge. It's a white man's construct. The day you see light, you will understand where I'm coming from, okay? But of course, like I said, you are within your right to worship a stone, to worship glass, to worship elephants, whatever floats your boat. Well done, bro. Hey, David Osilaja, you understand me, man? Give us the like button. Come on, people. Pissed at Jesus. They probably will bite me, man. So, yeah, that's the story, man. Look, please, let me end on this, man. Please don't buy into emotional blackmail. I think that's my parting message. Don't let families, even parents, I'm not here asking you not to, not to, take care of them soever, but there's so many. I wish I could be. I'm gonna start running some consultancy service, man. People come to me with messages, and I read, and I'm like, wow. There is a gentleman. He watches my channel. I'm not gonna say his name. A very lovely brother, and he told me he's struggling with his immigration status. He's been here for almost 12 years. And he's hoping that he's got some applications going, and he's hoping that he can get to sort out his papers at some point, right? And he struggles. He does a lot of menial jobs. And he said every month he would send his mom £150. Sometimes he would struggle to send 200 to her. He said he lives in a shared house. He shares one room with another friend. You can imagine how difficult that is. That brother can't even say he's got a privacy in terms of his daily life. And he said his mom calls him a bastard. His mom said he's a never to do well type. His mom said such and such son is doing good. His mom calls him useless. And this brother said, as I type this email to you, Phrankleen, I'm in tears. And I was raging. Do you see what I'm saying to you? That's a guy who is suffering in the diaspora. But because of my mom, he's still squeezing out money. Bruv, £150, £200 a month, and you're calling your son never to do well type. The moment you open your mouth to say that, that money dries quickly. That's just evil, man. That's so not nice. You see what I'm saying? I told him, rather than having this conversation, he said every month that he sends the money to his mom, he would always get this toxic message from her. She'd call him all sorts of name. You are never to do well type. You're this and this. You're sending me common to. You call £200 common. You have the audacity to call £200 common. Common. This is how some of these parents are. They will. I've said it before. You know, they will always tell you that you're basically, you're never to do well, or what you're doing is not up to, you know. Oh, thank you. I like Megalian said he's basically paying for the insults. He's subscribed to monthly insults from his mom. Yeah, just £200. Is that right? Oh, is that right? If I'm putting the £150, £200 aside for myself, I know what I can do with that money, man. You know what I'm saying? You can do so much with that, man. Of course. Let me tell you, man, even here in the UK, there are jobs where some people, after tax, they probably take home about 300 a week, 300 plus, some people 400 plus. That's facts, man. Corey, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Believe me, here in the UK, some people take home just, believe me. And then you have these parents, and I don't get it. There was a guy that said his dad, I remember this is the last one. He said his dad said, this was back in late last year, said his dad said he gives him, the dad gave him an ultimatum up until the end of the pandemic. The end of 2020, that if he doesn't start building a house back home for them, watch this. This is not even building a house for himself. Dad said they give him till the end of 2020. If he doesn't start building a house for them back home, he will be cut out of the family. And this guy is in a blind panic. My dad wants to remove me from the family. Rotimi, thank you, my brother. Olu Davids, thank you. You can imagine. Oh, my days. I'd love, I don't know where they see all this type of, man. I want you to cut me. I'll give you the scissors. I'll buy the scissors. In fact, I'll give you a chainsaw. Cut me out of the family. Carve me out. Buy. Oh, you want to cut me out of the family? Hold on. Let me get a chainsaw. I will give it to you. Cut me. So, you get people in a blind panic. Oh, my mom, because my mom, it's evil, man. This is why I always bang on about the message. Sort yourself out, bro. Look at the brother that lost £23,000. His father fleeced him, and the man died conveniently. He's gone. His older brothers, they've pretty much cleaned out whatever is left in dad's bank account. And here you are trapped in the UK because of the pandemic. So by the time they've opened the borders and you're able to jump on the plane and you go, it'll be too late, man. You know, what are you going to find? It's all done. It's all done. Toast. When asked by family members back home for money, always half it and divide by 3, then half that amount. Oh, of course, Vanessa, man, you've been doing me a massive favor. Oh, You want to cut me off? Let's start right now. Let's start the cutting right now. Where is the like button? If you come out of the chat window, you should be able to find the thumb up under the video if you're watching them on your mobile. Anyways, people, that's me done. It's your boy Phrankleen. That's the a bit of a rant. Hopefully you learn one thing from it. Just to answer that brother finally. Nobody said, because it's funny how some people would take something out of context. Oh, is this guy asking us to, whatever floats your boat, man. If you work and save your money abroad, you love your mommy and daddy so much, or your uncles, and you want to give them all your savings in the name of sentiments, you're within your rights. Okay? I don't have control over anything. I'm just a guy behind a computer, internet access, and I'm just, chatting away. You don't have to listen to Phrankleen. It's just advice, just my own reasoning. So if you like, build your house in your mom and dad's name, and then don't come back to my channel to cry though. My friend's sister emotionally blackmailed her to invest in buying a plot of land in their home country. 5 years later, the villagers are still giving my friend headache after investing 20,000 Great Britain pounds sterling. That's crazy, man. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. If you want to send me your stories, foodchannel1960@gmail.com. Look in the description below. You should find my email address. If you want to support my channel, there's a link in the description for my PayPal and or Cash App, pound sterling, Phrankleen. If you don't, you're not obligated to part away with your monies and stuff. But the fact that you're watching me is something. The fact that you can hit the like button, I appreciate you, because without the views, this wouldn't do well. And if you can share on your respective social media platforms, it would do me a fantastic favor, all right? It's your boy Phrankleen. I will definitely catch you. The last one. Send me your stories, please, man. I want to hear your stories, man. Send me your stories. foodchannel1960@gmail.com. And I'll catch you later. Peace and love, man. Bye-bye.